What's up, guys? Welcome to MLG Pro Scrims. I'm Chris Bucket, joined by Revan tonight. And today has been an incredible day for the Call of Duty community. At the start of the day, we saw Sundance, the CEO of MLG, tweet that Call of Duty is going to be on the 2013 Pro Circuit. Not just one event, all season long. Call of Duty is going to be there. Revan, I know that makes you a very happy person.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome going back to events. I'm sure we all missed it. You know, Modern Warfare 3 was a bit of an empty travel season for a lot of us, so it's good to be back.
Well, I'm super excited, and to top things off, we have possibly the best matchup possible for you guys tonight. Let's show it. It is Optic Gaming going up against Team Envious. You can see the rosters there. BigTymer, Nadeshot, Merc, and Scump for Optic, Rambo, Proofy, JCap, and Stainville. And actually, let's talk about our blue team first as we look at this Envy lineup. Rambo, Proofy, JCap, and Stainville. It's hard to find scarier names than that, Revan.
You know, you look at all these guys, I believe except for JCap, they're all national champions. Rambo won in 2009 alongside BigTymer. Proofy and Stainville won together in the MW2 Online Xbox national champions. JCap actually the only one without a national champion title, but he also won 2 Black Ops 1 events. So as you just said, this is a very scary roster. It's just as scary as the Optic one, if I say
Envy,
so.
of course, Rambo, Proofy, and JCap, all former members of the next lineup we're going to talk about. Here is the current Optic Gaming lineup. You got the team captain, Merc, joined by the infamous YouTuber and competitive superstar, Nadeshot. Look out for this guy with the sniper rifle. Arguably the best player in the game. If you ask Revan, he'll tell you straight up, Scump is the best player with his hands on an Xbox 360 controller. And then the winningest player of all time, BigTymer, fills out this Optic gaming lineup. They won the most recent UMG event, and these guys, probably the team to beat currently in competitive Call of Duty.
Yeah, without a doubt. Every tournament they enter, they're obviously a force to be reckoned with, and they just don't lose, man.
It's going to be exciting. Can't wait to see both of these teams. And we're actually going to kick off the night with an interview with one player from each side. And the first player we're talking to, there he is. Let me read this off for you guys. The 2009 Call of Duty 4 National Champion, the 2010 Modern Warfare 2 Pro Circuit Ladder number 2 Xbox 360 Champion, the PS3 MVW2 Pro Circuit Ladder Champion, 2011 Black Ops GameStop 4v4 National Finals Champion, the 2011 Black Ops MLG Columbus as well as Orlando Champion, 2 Black Ops events there. Then we take it to Modern Warfare 3, and this is when BigTymer lit it up. BigTymer, you have to sit through this. MW3 Call of Duty XP Champion, where he banked how many dollars?
Like 93 grand after taxes.
Pretty solid day of work there. You got the MW3 Machinima Frag Cup 4 championship under his belt, EGL 5, EGL 7, UMG Chicago 360 Icons Farewell champion, and of course 2012's Black Ops 2 UMG Chicago Championships, 13 major titles and around $145,000 won by BigTymer. BigTymer, you are one of the most successful, actually you are the most successful Black Ops player as well as Call of Duty player of all time. What makes you so good? What separates you from the rest of the field?
I mean, it's hard to say. To be honest, a lot of those tournaments that I have won have been at LAN tournaments, and one of my biggest disadvantages, if you will, is also one of my biggest advantages because I live in Arkansas and I have a terrible internet connection. So the majority of the year that I end up playing is playing on an awful connection. So once I do actually get to a LAN tournament, it is heaven for me, and I absolutely love it. So once we get there, I go off. I'm excited. I'm more motivated to play, more motivated to win, and that's proved me well in the past.
Well, you're not only the most successful player, but you're playing on one of the most successful teams of all time, Optic Gaming. You've been around with Optic forever. What can you tell me about your current lineup?
Well, like you said, we've pretty much been around forever, and that's something that we've tried to do. And actually, me and Rambo, who's now on Envious, has always talked about this. It's not exactly keeping, because you'll hear us say, you know, loyalty is the key, and keeping the exact same roster. It is good. And you'll see it in previous titles that we've kept the same roster for almost a year at a time. We did that with JCap. We've been there almost a year with Scumpy now. But making small changes to a roster when you need to or when it's absolutely going to make or break the team, you can do that. But like I said, consistency has been the key for us in the past. And like you said, when you first introduced us, we've been around forever. That is the key for us and how we win a lot of tournaments that we do.
Well, a lot of people are considering you to be the team to beat, the #1 team in the world right now. Do you think that's true?
I mean, it's really hard to say right now. The game's only been out. It may seem like a long time for a bunch of people, but 2 or 3 months. There's been one LAN tournament. It's still way too early to tell. I think now that MLG has announced, or maybe not officially, unofficially announced that Call of Duty is going to be on the circuit for this year. You'll see a lot of people practicing. I see a lot of people that used to play back in the Call of Duty 4 days, which it doesn't seem like it, but that's going back 4 or 5 years ago. We're starting to get back into the game. A lot of top players are coming back. So you're going to see more competition, I think more staggered results this year than you have any other previous year.
And of course, the Halo players transitioning over, they're trying to
Also
learn
the
Call
Halo
of Duty.
guys, yeah.
Anyone who's good at FPS is going to try and jump on this COD bandwagon and just become one of the top teams in the world. But you guys definitely have a head start. But we should talk about the team changes you made recently. Rambo, longtime Optic member as well. You guys go way back.
Right.
He was dropped by the team. And Revan, I know you have a question about team leadership now.
Yeah, so obviously Rambo was one of the major in-game leaders for you guys. He has great communication. Who has stepped up from your team to try to fill that gap left by him?
To be honest, when we had to make the decision to drop Ray, we looked for a player that was going to be almost as similar as him. And a lot of people like to disagree, and I'll agree to disagree, but Nadeshot is one of those players. He was somebody that was already in the Optic organization. He's one of those objective-minded players, at least, and he is vocal. I mean, we tried to team with Nadeshot with Rambo in the past, and the reason it didn't work is because they both have those leadership attributes. They both would yell at each other in the game, and neither one of them's going to give up. So replacing one with the other hasn't been a huge transition for us. As far as vocal leadership, Nadeshot, he directs basically all of our search and destroy strategies when we need leadership in search and destroy games. But as far as respawn games, like I said, we're all veteran players, and that's what makes us as good as we are at this point. So we all stepped up our communication lines. We all call out as much as we can, and not just calling out where opposing players are, but if one of us sees that we need to be pushing a certain way or anything on the map that needs to be called out and made aware to our teammates, we make sure that we all pitch in and do our part.
Awesome. Well, BigTymer, tonight we're going to see you guys play Capture the Flag, Search and Destroy, as well as Black Ops 2's new game type, Hardpoint. What do you say is your team's favorite? What is your greatest strength?
Right now, to be honest, I'd have to say search and destroy. We have the new rules. Back when we used to go to only 4 rounds, I think you would see a lot more teams. I wouldn't really say randomness, but you would see more staggered results in team search and destroy wins. Now with a lowered time limit, it forces players to rush a bomb site, actually execute strategies that they had going into the game, and you have more chances to do that. So the team that's more consistent in S&D is going to win now with that 6-round limit. That's
Okay.
what we like to play. Nadeshot's obviously always been known for his search and destroy skills. I've been playing a pretty solid S&D game so far in Black Ops 2, and then Scumpy and Merc always going to tear stuff up.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you guys tonight as you face off against Envious. And I got to ask you, you've played with 3 of the guys in the past, JCap, Proofy, as well as Rambo. How do you think you're going to stack up against this Envy roster?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it when you said that before we started the call. Is people don't realize this matchup right now has some of the most veteran players that I've seen. But almost everybody dates back to the Call of Duty 4 days, so there's a lot of talent. And I say all the time that there's only a select few players that I would probably consider teaming with in Call of Duty if I ever got dropped from Optic or had to leave. To be honest, those 8 people are about to be in this game right now. These are the people that I would team with.
All right, guys. Well, BigTymer, want to thank you coming on the pregame show. Of course, follow BigTymer, Optic_BigTymer on Twitter. Make sure to check out all of the content. I know you're also a streamer. Where can we watch you there, BigTymer?
Twitch.tv/BigTymer, just my name. With a Y, not an I.
With a Y,
right, so,
of course. Got to spell it gangster. All right,
There you
BigTymer, we're going to commercial break. Thank you for joining us. When we come back, though, Revan, we will be talking to the player that was an Optic member just about 3 months ago. Rambo will be joining us from Team Envious. Don't go anywhere. This is MLG Pro Scrims.